Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm the Trading Chief. If you're new, welcome to the channel. I cover biopharmaceutical stocks that have upcoming FDA reviews for new drug applications and biologics license applications. And I also go over upcoming stock mergers. In today's video, we're going to be going over ticker ticker BMRN or BioMarin Pharmaceuticals. And just a quick little overview of what they do. This says BioMarin Pharmaceuticals Incorporated engages in the development and commercialization of therapies for people with serious and life-threatening rare diseases and medical conditions. And the drug that we're going to be taking a look at is valoctocogene roxaparvovec. And basically, that's for the treatment of hemophilia A. We got a lot of news articles to start with, and this one goes all the way. I had to go all the way back to 20 August 19th of 2020 will be the first news article that we're going to look at, as you can see right here. And I looked for this prior to this, and I couldn't find it, even though it goes back to 2018, because I was looking for the first set of phase 3 data, and it's not there. So I just want to put that out there because I always like to cover the phase 3 data prior to looking at anything else, because that tells us what the FDA is going to, the Food and Drug Administration is going to look at and kind of determine based off of what the phase 3 data says, minus, analytics and statistical data of the people that they tested. Kind of an overview of which way the FDA is going to lean. But let's look at the news articles and talk about what they got going on. It says the FDA turns away BioMarin's hemophilia A drug and seeks more data. This was in August 19th of 2020. And it says BioMarin Pharmaceuticals Incorporated on Wednesday said the U.S. Food and Drug Administration indicated that it won't approve the company's biologics license application for its valoctocogene roxaparvovec gene therapy for severe hemophilia A in its current form. The San Rafael, California biotechnology company said it received a complete response letter from the FDA, which the agency introduced a new recommendation for 2 years of data from its ongoing phase 3 study to provide substantial evidence of a durable effect, using annualized bleeding rates as the primary endpoint. BioMarin said the FDA did not raise the new issue at any time during the development or review, adding that it is surprised and disappointed that the agency introduced new expectations for the first time in the complete response letter. BioMarin said the FDA recommended the company complete the phase 3 study and submit 2 years follow-up safety and efficacy data on all study participants. The company said the study was fully enrolled in November of 2019, and the last patient will complete 2 years of follow-up in November of 2021. So, there's the first news article. Kind of a big disappointment that it happened the way it happened, but it is what it is. So they kept on pushing, and now we're going to see a new one come up here shortly. Next news article we're going to look at is from January 10th of 2021. And that's this one right here. It says BioMarin announced phase 3 gene therapy trial results in adults with severe hemophilia A met all primary and secondary efficacy endpoints in 1-year data set. I'm not going to go through all this because, let's be honest, nobody's going to understand it, right? But just the fact that the headline says that it met all of its primary and secondary endpoints, that's very important to know, right? And then you can come through and read all this stuff and kind of figure out what's going on with it. But if I'm gonna sit here and read all this stuff, nobody's gonna know what the Infusion N equals 112 phase 3 rollover population, right? So you can come in and read this on your stuff. It's the January 10th of 2021 news article. Next one we're going to look at is from May 19th, and that's this one. Right. This is the 5-year data of BioMarin's hemophilia gene therapy shows sustained benefits. BioMarin Pharmaceuticals Incorporated has announced an update to its previously reported results from phase 1 and 2 study of valoctocogene roxaparvovec, an investigational gene therapy treatment for adults with severe hemophilia A. Data will be shared at the International Society of Thrombosis and Hematosis virtual congress to be held in July. 5-year and 4-year post-treatment follow-ups of the 6E13 VG over kg and 4E13 VG over kg, I don't know what that is, cohorts show sustained treatment benefit of gene therapy. All participants in both cohorts remain off prophylactic factor 8 treatment. The mean annualized bleed rates in year 5 of the 6E13 VGkg cohort was 0.7 with an ABR, or annualized bleed rate, reduction of 95%, and factor 8 use reduction of 96% through 5 years compared to the pre-infusion. This is the overall safety profile of valoctocogene roxaparvovec in the phase 1 and 2 study remains consistent with previously reported data, with no delayed onset treatment-related adverse events. In Europe, BioMarin plans to submit a marketing application in June based on 1-year results from the phase 3 study. In the US, the company plans to submit 2-year follow-up safety and efficacy data for the phase 3 study. Alright, so next one we're going to look at is this one right here. It says the EMA grants BioMarin's request for speedy review of hemophilia A gene therapy. The European Medicine Agency has granted its request for accelerated assessment review to BioMarin Pharmaceuticals Incorporated. Valoctocogene roxaparvovec gene therapy to treat severe hemophilia A, with an opinion expected in the first half of 2022. With the EMA agreeing to give the therapy a closer look, BioMarin said it plans to submit an associated marketing application by June, based on phase 3 data that includes 1-year follow-up results and 4 and 3 years of follow-up from an ongoing phase 1 and 2 dose escalation study. Meanwhile, BioMarin also expects to submit 2-year follow-up safety and efficacy data from that phase 3 trial to the FDA, with a potential resubmission of its application scheduled for Q2 2022. The FDA shot down BioMarin's application for the therapy back in August of 2020, citing the need to see that that 2-year follow-up data. In March, the FDA granted Regenerative Medicine Advanced Therapy, RMAT. This is the second time I've ever seen an RMAT. Pretty much once it gets an RMAT, it's basically going to be approved, right? So there's that. And it will be approved. I'll show you. You'll see that as we progress through the video. It's 100% going to be approved. I can tell you that right now. If we go to June 28th, I still think the rest of this information is important to go over, but there's a whole lot of news articles, so if you want to skip through it, I understand. Because some of this is redundant. But I just want to kind of cover all of it. BioMarin resubmits the European Marketing Authorization application for gene therapy of rare blood disorder. And then it says BioMarin Pharmaceuticals said Monday it has resubmitted its marketing authorization application for valoctocogene roxaparvovec to the European Medicines Agency for adults with severe hemophilia A, a genetic disorder wherein the blood does not clot normally. In May, the European regulator granted the company a request for accelerated assessment of its marketing authorization application. The submission includes safety and efficacy data from 134 subjects enrolled in a late-stage study, according to a statement. So there's that. We're going to look at this one. Not that one, this one. It says BioMarin expects EMA's CHMP opinion in first half of 2022 for its hemophilia A gene therapy. FDA resubmission in Q2 of 2022. It says, with today's validation, the application review can now commence. A CHMP opinion is anticipated in the first half of 2022. BioMarin resubmitted the European market application in June. In the U.S., the BioMarin intends to submit 2-year follow-up safety and efficacy data on all study participants from the Phase 3 Gene R81 study to support the benefit-risk assessment of valoctocogene roxaparvovec as previously requested by the FDA. BioMarin targets an application resubmission in Q2 2022. So there you see it is starting to get redundant now after we've gone through a couple of these. Next one we're going to look at is this one. BioMarin shares 5-year data from the open label trial of hemophilia gene therapy. Then we're going to scroll all the way to January 9th of 22. We're going to take a look at this one right here. It says BioMarin announces stable and durable annualized bleed control in the largest Phase 3 gene therapy study in adults with severe hemophilia A. 134 participant study met all primary and secondary efficiency endpoints at the 2-year analysis. So San Rafael, California. On January 9th, BioMarin Pharmaceuticals Incorporated today announced positive results from its ongoing global Phase 3 Gene R81 study of valoctocogene roxaparvovec, an investigational gene therapy for the treatment of adults with severe hemophilia A. This is the largest global Phase 3 study to date of any gene therapy in hemophilia, with 134 participants. In the Gene R81 Phase 3 study, annualized bleeding rate was significantly reduced by 4.1 treated bleeds per year, or 85% from a baseline mean of 4.8. In the pre-specified primary analysis in participants from a prior non-interventional study, the mean ABR was 0.8. Through the entire efficiency evaluation period, 0.9 mean during year 1 and 0.7 during year 2. The drug also significantly reduced the mean annualized factor infusion rate in the rollover population by 133 infusions per year, or 98% from the baseline. The mean annualized infusion rate was 2.6 through the entire efficiency evaluation period, 1.5 during the year 1, and 3.4 during year 2. At the end of the second year post-infusion with valoctocogene roxaparvovec, participants in the modified intent to treat population had a mean endogenous factor 8 activity level of 23.0 as measured by the chromogenic substrate assay, and 36.1 as measured by the one-stage assay. In a subset, yada yada yada. I think you get the gist, but there's a lot of information in here talking about everything that happened. But as I told you, it's guaranteed to be approved. Next one we're going to look at is right here. It's from January 10th. It says BioMarin plans to resubmit its experimental gene therapy for hemophilia A to the FDA in the second quarter. It says BioMarin gained 5.6% in the market. La, da, da, da. I just wanted to read the title, but it's going to do it. February 4th. This one right here. BioMarin reports positive data from the phase 3 trial of gene therapy in hemophilia A. No, not going to open it up. Okay, cool. Let's try that again. Not there. All right. I'm going to skip all the way to May 31st. I told you this gets real redundant, so I apologize, but it's still information that should look over. It says BioMarin says FDA seeks additional data on hemophilia A. So on May 31st of 2022, they requested additional information extending the FDA review once again. It says commercial stage biotech BioMarin Pharmaceuticals announced on Tuesday that the FDA requested additional data for its planned biologics license application for hemophilia A therapy, valoctocogene roxaparvovec. An investigational gene therapy, valoctocogene roxaparvovec, is currently undergoing European review for the treatment of severe hemophilia A. Last month, BioMarin announced plans to resubmit its BLA to the FDA in June of 2022. Issuing feedback on the market application, the federal agency has requested additional information and analysis of data to be included in the BLA prior to submission. The company said, adding that the BLA resubmission is now expected to occur by the end of September. So that's what I'm saying, it pushed it back. It's supposed to be June, and it didn't get done until September. BioMarin made a disclosure as part of an announcement to issue updated 6-year and 5-year post-treatment follow-up data from an ongoing label phase 1 and 2 study for their drug in hemophilia A. So that's why I got pushed back again so far. Next one we're going to look at is from June 24th of 22. It says BioMarin receives positive CHMP opinion in Europe for valoctocogene roxaparvovec gene therapy to treat adults with severe hemophilia A. European Commission approval expected in Q3 of 22. It does get approved by the European. It actually has a name now. First gene therapy for treatment of hemophilia A recommended for approval in Europe. More than 20,000 adults with severe hemophilia A in BioMarin territories across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. It says the one-time infusion is planned to be marked under the brand name Roctavian. That's the name of the drug now that's approved by the European Union, through the EMA. For the treatment of severe hemophilia A in adults, patients without a history of factor VIII inhibitors and without detectable antibodies to adeno-associated virus serotype 5 or AAV5. Roctavian is the first gene therapy to be recommended for approval in Europe for hemophilia A. It is estimated that more than 20,000 adults across Europe, Middle East, and Africa are affected by severe hemophilia A. BioMarin anticipates additional patient access through named patient sales based on an EMA approval in countries in the Middle East and Africa, and expect additional market registrations to be facilitated by an anticipated EMA license. So, a whole lot there. I'm not going to read. This would be an hour-long video if I covered all of this stuff. We're going to go to August 24th. Be our next news article. August 24th. This is first gene therapy for adults with severe hemophilia A, BioMarin Roctavian, approved by the European Commission. So it was approved, like I mentioned earlier. It says maintains orphan drug designation in the EU, providing 10 years of market exclusivity. So there's a big win. Significant benefit over existing therapies for patients with severe hemophilia A in the EU based on EMA determination of ODD. And a conference call and webcast. Well, we don't care about that. So again, I'm not going to read through all this because it's super long and redundant. But just the articles and this stuff is enough to cover what I want to talk about. Next news article is going to be on the 25th. It says BioMarin to resubmit hemophilia therapy for FDA approval after the EU nod. This is announcing the EU approval of Roctavian for hemophilia A. BioMarin disclosed its plans to resubmit the U.S. market application to the gene therapy to the FDA by the end of next month. In 2020, the agency rejected the one-time infusion, also known as valoctocogene roxaparvovec, for the treatment of severe hemophilia A. Following conditional marketing authorization from the European Commission, BioMarin gets permission to market the therapy for certain adults with severe hemophilia A, with 10 years of market exclusivity given its orphan drug designation. According to the company, Roctavian is the first approved gene therapy for hemophilia A, a blood disorder that affects more than 40,000 adults in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. With the European approval, an estimated 3,200 patients with severe hemophilia A in 24 countries will be eligible to receive Roctavian. Final approval for the drug comes after an expert panel of the European Medicines Agency endorsed its marketing authorization in June. And we're going to go to September 29th, 2022. This is BioMarin Pharmaceutical resubmits gene therapy license application to the FDA. So they resubmitted their application to the FDA. And then we're going to go to October 12th. This one. And this is BioMarin's pharmaceutical hemophilia A biologics license application was accepted by the FDA. And then we're going to look at the one on November 23rd. November 23rd. This one. This is the one where I'm telling you, because they did this, it is guaranteed to be approved. It says BioMarin announced that FDA drops plans for an AdCom meeting on the hemophilia A drug. Because they dropped this AdCom, there's no longer going to be a committee that meets to vote whether or not if this is going to be approved or not. That basically tells you straight away that the FDA has plans on pushing this through based off the information that they've received. This is BioMarin Pharmaceuticals Incorporated on Wednesday said the U.S. Food and Drug Administration no longer plans to hold an advisory committee meeting on the company's proposed valoctocogene roxaparvovec gene therapy for adults with severe hemophilia A. The FDA, which accepted the San Rafael, California biotechnology company's application in October, had previously indicated that it would hold a meeting, but hadn't specified a date. BioMarin in September resubmitted its application for the drug, which it plans to market as Roctavian. After addressing issues raised by the FDA when it turned away the initial application in August of 2022. BioMarin on Wednesday said it remains on track to host an FDA pre-licensure inspection of its gene therapy manufacturing plant in Novato, California. The FDA has set a target action date of March 31st, 2023 for BioMarin's application for Roctavian, which, if approved, would be the first gene therapy in the U.S. for the treatment of severe hemophilia A, a genetic bleeding disorder. This was pushed back until the 30th of June. BioMarin won conditional marketing authorization from the European Commission for Roctavian in August. Alright, so let's move on. We got 3 more news articles to look at. We'll scroll all the way up to February 28th. February 28th. I want to look at this one. It says BioMarin hints probable delay for U.S. approval for Roctavian, but analysts convinced for a transformative 23. It says BioMarin reported a break even in Q4. I guess they announced some other stuff prior to this. The company's revenue rose. Alright, a PDUFA date on March 31st, 2023 for Roctavian remains in place, while BioMarin has been clear in messages that additional data from the 3-year data of Gene R81 study may constitute a major amendment and trigger a 3-month delay. However, a delay has not yet been announced. So there was that scare back in February. I mean, it did get pushed 3 months, but let's see. Next one we're going to look at is on March 6th. And just as they announced, BioMarin's Roctavian gets FDA action date extended to end of June. The U.S. Food and Drug Association has told BioMarin that it is extending the action date on the company's biologics license application for Roctavian to June 30th. The FDA said that a 3-year data analysis provided by the company from the ongoing pivotal Gene R81 study constituted a major amendment because of significant new data. The study enrolled 134 individuals with hemophilia A, and same stuff we've already heard 25 times already. And then the last one we're going to look at is from the 21st. And that was back in, it has nothing really, I mean it does, but it doesn't have anything really to do with the FDA review, but it just talks about how the FDA is to back accelerated approval pathway for gene therapies. And they basically, what happened is one of the head guys came out of the Food and Drug Administration back in March, and they changed the head guy there, and they vowed to help accelerate the approval of gene therapy drugs instead of digging into them so hard. So that's kind of what happened with that, but you can kind of look over it and see what's up with it. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you found this information useful, and consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and come check me out in the Discord. The link will be down in the description below. And that's all I got. I'm about to go to bed, so have a good night, and have a good weekend. All right, bye.